It's so important to have a balanced ministry. There are pastors who preach only the positive aspects of salvation. God wants to bless you and all that. We know He does. But I ask pastors sometimes, have you ever preached on the doctrine of hell? At Moody Church, I think I did that only twice, a full sermon on the doctrine of hell. I could scarcely sleep the night before. Because when you start to get your mind around what the Bible teaches about hell, but in our society, nobody wants to hear that, but to be faithful. Now, you don't preach judgmentally. Boy, that's so important. I remember a man just railing against homosexuality. I actually walked out of the meeting because where's your brokenness, Pastor? We have to preach with brokenness and humility. When I preached against same-sex marriage, I had even those who struggle with same-sex attraction come to me and say, we disagree with what you've preached, but we do appreciate the heart with which you preached it, because society is broken, sin is everywhere. And so what we need to do is to have humility, brokenness. We need to see ourselves. Rembrandt was a great painter. I was in Amsterdam one time and saw in the museum his famous painting, Night Watch. Now, I could be wrong on these statistics, but the point has to be made because it is true historically, even if I have the wrong numbers. Apparently, he painted about 400 pictures, and 25% were of himself, and he was not good looking, and he painted himself as he was. And people said, Rembrandt, why don't you make yourself look better? And he said, if I cannot paint myself as I am, I cannot paint others how they are. Pastor, understand the wickedness of your own heart first, and then you can begin to communicate. And when you preach, don't say you. Always say we. Include yourself in your sermons, because if you're like me, oftentimes your sermons are going to do a lot more good to you than your sermons are going to do to others. Know yourself, know your weaknesses and sins, and preach with humility and brokenness. Win people's hearts and seek God for the transformation of their lives.